Hello, Amador County. I'm Tom Slivick. Welcome to TSPN's News for today. The Amador Water Agency moves to establish a single agency-wide water rate schedule. County officials react to state announcement of coming SRA fire fee bills in rural counties. Amador Water Agency will hold a public hearing on water rate consolidation in 45 days. Regional county officials foresee problems with the state fire fee billing. And in the second half of the news, I'll speak with Ron Middlebrun of the Amador Economic Development Corporation and a recent demographic study of the county and region. So stay with us. We'll have these stories when I return from the other side of the break. You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. Everyone, and welcome back. The Amador Water Agency Board of Directors on Thursday, July 26, voted to move the agency toward a single water rate schedule. AWA General Manager Gene Mancebo said directors adopted a single system-wide water rate schedule following a prior grand jury recommendation that it go to a single rate for potable water and for wastewater. He said an independent expert specializing in development, appropriate and legal rates for government agencies said that the change will make the rates more fair and current. Ratepayers in the four AWA water systems, the four potable water systems, are the Amador Water System, Central Amador Water Project, Lake Comanche Village, and the Mill Heights. All AWA customers will pay the same service charge and price per unit of water regardless of the system, streamlining the more costly multiple rate setting and budget processes currently in place. Mancebo said in the new rate plan there are 3 rate tiers for single-family residential customers to encourage water conservation. Consultant Bob Reed of the Reed Group said individual debt service costs of each system remain with respective systems. Another, a Central Amador Water Project pumping charge, remained to the CAWP wholesale and retail customers. He said if the gravity supply line is built, the pumping charge would be eliminated, saving $194,000 annually. He said if a CAWP Community Facilities District is approved, rates in the CAWP would decrease by $300 a year, and it would be a substantial savings even with a tax. Director Paul Molinelli Sr. asked if a rate increase occurred, would it happen to all 4 systems? And Reed said rates would go up differently with the first consolidation because rates are different now in each system. Each system would pay the same usage charge and service charge in a single-family home with a 5/8-inch water meter. It totals $25. Water use by the unit would be paid for in tiered rates per number of units used. Molinelli asked about commercial and wanted to know and be able to go into someone's restaurant and be able to tell them how consolidation would affect them. Reed said they are going from 4 different structures to 1 rate structure. Once that is done, a future needed hike could occur and would affect them all the same. He said directors can adopt a mechanism for an indexed adoption of up to 5 years as allowed by law. Agency Counsel Stephen Cronick said the first 5-year rate schedule could also be approved to occur on July 1st of every year, and the board can decide to not adopt it in any year. Molinelli asked if staff could get a sampling of commercial accounts to see how they might be affected. Mancebo said absolutely. Reed said the CFD election for the Central Amador Water Project is scheduled for next March. County officials reacted Monday to the state's plan to begin noticing its state's responsibility area fire fees, for which 11,569 Amador County property owners may see bills of $150 per habitable structure in the next 2 weeks. Amador County Supervisor, Vice Chair Richard Forrester, a board member of the Regional Council of Rural Counties, led a teleconference discussion of potential impacts on rural counties who contain the bulk of the state responsibility areas covered by CAL FIRE. Napa County Supervisor Diane Dolan said, "It's really not the way to handle the problem that does exist. The state is imposing a so-called fee on some people. I believe it is really a tax, and counties have had no input in this process. The state will be sending bills, and we're going to be put on the receiving end of questions." Amador County Assessor Jim Rooney said 11,569 people in Amador County will get bills, and like everybody else, we are a little bit short-staffed. Forrester said they have not been actively talking to our assessors and noted county staffing is down 25% from a year ago. San Diego County Supervisor Diane Jacobs suggested calls coming in about SRA fees be referred to the governor's office and respective legislators because it would be good for them to hear from constituents. Rooney said the problem is that a lot of people will be calling, owing money, and just want to get it paid or get rid of a fee that they don't have to pay. He said they should refer it to CAL FIRE first, then the others. Rooney said, what if they do have a conflict and the structure is a shed or a hay barn? Now the state has the information. What do? Do they send someone to the property? I doubt it. It seems to me they will have to come back to us. Rooney said it costs more to reduce assessments than to raise them. With workload increase, work will get done, but assessments that should be lowered may not get done. Alpine County Assessor Dave Peets said hay structures or other buildings could be not livable, but still have a great value, and these owners may get the bill. He said volunteer fire departments cover Alpine County. 2 CAL FIRE trucks serving the county are now gone, and CAL FIRE only staffs 2 stations on the western slope of the county, which are a minimum of an hour away from residents. He said now they must tell the residents they will have to pay an SRA fee and receive no service. Forrester said RCRC efforts with legislators were fruitless, and it moved on, and now we have to try and reverse the damage that has been done. A state notice said that people who wish to contest or appeal the fee bill can call Amador Water Agency Board of Directors heard criticism of consolidating water rates across 4 water systems in the agency before approving a resolution to make the consolidation. Directors will hold a public hearing in 45 days to consider comments. Vera Ferguson of Comanche Village asked how the Comanche water rates would be affected, and Bob Reed, consultant for AWA, said the base rate of $25 would pay for usage and service charges for single-family homes, then pay for water by the unit. AWA General Manager Gene Mancebo said using 4 units at Comanche would cost $28.39, an 11% reduction from current fees. Using 7 units would cost $31.80, a reduction of 3%. Director Gary Thomas said the typical Comanche customer uses 7 units a month. Bill Condershaft said the agency is massaging the numbers behind the scenes. Director Paul Molinelli Sr. asked what he meant by that, and Condershaft said Reed will make the numbers say what the agency wants, but they are giving him budget numbers instead of actual numbers. Reed said basing the rates on the budget reflects what the AWA feels it ought to be doing, including regular maintenance, which may not be getting done. He said we are kind of in a cautious operating mode. Maintenance is less than what it ought to be or should be, and it takes 4 years to build up an operating reserves. The budget also reflected major cuts. Agency Counsel Stephen Cronick said they need to determine the cost per EDU. He said when the consultant finishes the rate and method of appointment, it would be a very simple, flat tax, up or down. Cronick said if a majority of customers do not protest, the agency will be able to consolidate water rates. Each water customer of the AWA is entitled under Proposition 218 to protest the consolidation and rate increases. Ferguson said, I don't see it's legal allowing all customers to decide. Director Robert Maniceto said it will be a consolidated water rate increase except for the debt service to all of those communities. And the Regional Council of Rural Counties officials on Monday, July 30th, discussed impacts from the state fire fees that could be coming to 11,569 people in Amador County. Napa County Supervisor Diane Dillon said Napa County has had a hospital and affordable housing on state responsibility area, SRA lands, and they will be hit with a $150 fee per habitable structure. She said this is just no way to handle a fee like that, and it is important to get the word out because people do not know it's coming. San Diego County Supervisor Diane Jacobs said, our board has unanimously opposed this fee, which I characterize as a tax, and a lawsuit awaits the first bill's arrival. Dillon said this is characterized as a fee for fire prevention service, but with its own documents, the state said there will be no money for local agencies for fire prevention services until 2017, making this a fee with no service this, and that's a tax. RC's Paul Smith said the California Board of Forestry came up with a policy, and the California Board of Equalization is responsible for billing. CAL FIRE must determine who pays fees. Jacob said it was a bad idea to put the duty on CAL FIRE, and legislators and the governor need to be pressured. Jacob said San Diego County has invested more than $230 million in fire prevention, including equipment and vegetation management. They've been paying $15.5 million a year for protection, two-thirds going directly to CAL FIRE to keep 8 stations open. Jacob said, ironically, the $10.2 million on San Diego has been investing annually in SRAs is about exactly what CAL FIRE will be getting in the tax. People in her region tax themselves, including $400 annually in one area. It's a great example of how dysfunctional our state is. Amador County Supervisor Richard Forster said one gentleman in Amador County will pay 3 fees or taxes, including the SRA fees, an assessment fee, and the Measure M fire fee. Tom Bordeno, president of the California Assessors Association, said assessors are not sure where CAL FIRE is getting their data and believe there will be major problems with who's getting the bill and people trying to appeal it through assessors. Bordeno said, "Where are they getting the data from? No one can tell us. We don't believe data exists in a form for this to operate smoothly. Non-habitable structures may erroneously be listed, and trailers or mobile homes licensed by DMV may not be listed." He said kicking this down to the counties trying to solve their financial problems is just wrong. CAL FIRE does a great job, and this responsibility lands squarely on the shoulders of the legislators and the governor, and they are shaking their responsibilities. Make that shirking their responsibilities. Stay with us. When I return, we'll have Ron Middlebrum of the Amador Economic Development Corporation.